Sneakers and Cleats, the podcast. Welcome back to the Sneakers and Cleats podcast. This is episode 41. I'm Matt Roy. That's Don Harris. This is Zack Hedrick. Once again, coming to you from our palatial studios here on 410 and 10. I'm trying not to say the before I say interstates now.
The 405.
Because I'm getting killed. Every time I say the 10 or the 410.
The California.
Yeah, the California comes out in me every time. So
it's a great SNL skit.
Love the Californians.
SNL has been on fire in the last few weeks with the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift stuff, and they've had some great ones over the last few weeks. But number 41, as always, we are going to start with that. There is a couple that are good.
Yeah,
I think it's a top two, and one of them just went into the Hall of Fame. One of them is already a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Dirk is obviously the basketball one that we're all thinking.
Absolutely.
Yep. I mean, he's going to be playing. I mean, he's not going to be playing. His team going to be playing against the Spurs. Their first game on Wednesday.
He's the greatest 41 of all time. There's no question about it.
Tom Seaver, though?
No, Dirk's greater than Tom Seaver. Dirk's a top 10 NBA player. Tom Seaver's not a top 10 major league.
Well, there's a lot of pitchers.
Tom Seaver was great, but he's no Dirk. And for Cowboy fans, Charlie Waters.
Did you say that Dirk's a top 10 NBA player of all time?
Well, okay, he's a top 5 scorer of all time. He's got 30,000 points, man.
Well, yeah, it's because he played for 21 years, whatever it was.
Dude, he's got 30,000 points. No matter how long you play.
He's not a top 10 NBA player of all time.
He could have won more championships.
I'll give him top 25.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll give him top 25.
He's a top 10. He scored 30,000 points.
I'll give him top 2 just because I don't want to leave somebody out of your European players of all time.
Oh, he's number one. He's the best.
He's probably number one there.
He's best for European.
No one's even close.
Yeah, I was just in case you were going to put like Manu up there or something.
No, Manu was a 3-time All-Star. I love Manu, but Dirk it's no question he's the greatest international player of all time in the NBA.
Yeah,
the greatest NBA career of international players.
He's the greatest number 41 in NBA ever.
Manu's the greatest international player playing international ball, Olympics, World Cups,
FIBA.
Mm-hmm. What about Luis Scola?
League.
I'm just kidding. So yeah, 41 obvious. That's a pretty obvious one. I put John Lackey on there just because I like putting Broncos, Red Sox pitchers on there. So just
Charlie Waters,
even though he was more known for the Angels.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He had some good years. All right, the Angels didn't have any good years, but he had some good years. Actually, was he there when they won the World Series in 2002? Maybe. I don't know. That might have been before his time. I don't know. Anyway, this is going to be our Spurs preview episode. So Spurs playing Wednesday. We're recording this on a Monday. So we will be getting all our predictions out before the season starts tomorrow, which I think there's 2 games. It's the Suns and the Warriors and the Lakers and the Kings. I don't know.
Nuggets.
Yeah, that's what it is. So we're going to be getting all of that stuff before that. There will be no Wednesday High School Hype Squad episode this season or this week. We do not have a TNL game this week. It's our bye week. So we will kind of start that up again next week. And plus with the Spurs starting on this Wednesday, there's no bigger thing happening in our universe than the Spurs against the Mavs
in the
Wednesday.
Universe,
at least in our universe.
Yeah,
the universe, the NBA universe for sure.
For sure.
No, I mean, there's no literally bigger thing going on than Wemby.
Like Wemby's going to be on Good Morning America.
Yeah, I saw that they got an interview with him the other day.
Yeah,
it wasn't with Robin Roberts though. It was with someone else from GMA.
It was with Malika Andrews from ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, they're owned by the same company.
Yeah,
so get it on ABC over there. So anyway, so we're going to get to Wednesday being the first day of the rest of our lives, the day that Wemby takes the court here in San Antonio for the first time in the regular season. Obviously, he's done it already in the preseason. Going to be our Spurs preview. We'll, for the next 35 minutes or so, going to get through expectations, predictions, everything in between. So I have to ask it first. He has played in 2 Summer League games, 3 preseason games. Has he lived up to the hype so far as what you expected from him coming over from Europe?
100%, maybe 120% more. I mean, he's everything that was sold to us. The first summer league game that he played, and everybody ripped him because he was like 3 for 12. I was there. I was sitting courtside. I was sitting behind Jerry West, probably the greatest evaluator of talent of all time. And I was watching him laugh out loud at what this guy is. And we were all in person. Jaws were dropped because no matter what the stat line says, when you see him in person and you see the length and the skill of a guy that big, knowing he's only 19 years old, I mean, come on. The Wiggins play the other night where Wiggins tries to take him off the dribble from baseline to the center of the court. He blocks a shot like he's 5 on a Nerf goal. He's the dad at home. And then runs down the court and strokes the 3 at the other end. And there's a block. I don't know if you guys saw it on my social. It's a still picture of Wiggins on the wing where he's fully extended, and I swear that ball 6 feet out of Wiggins' hands. Wiggins is 6'7". That ball's probably 12 feet in the air at
least
climbing to its apex.
Yeah, at least. And
he's outstretched blocking that shot. And remember, if you see it in fast motion, he's 10 feet away from Wiggins when he starts to go into his shooting motion. As quick as he closes out, he's playing the 3. I mean, I could go on and on and on about just the freakiness of him physically. Then you add the skill and the smarts and the want to be a team player and all of that. I'm telling you guys, by Christmas, he's going to be the biggest thing on the planet. By Christmas, he's going to be the cover of Sports Illustrated. They're going to add more national TV games. I've seen this before with David Robinson, his rookie year. And this guy is just going to skyrocket.
It's different now, though, because it's like, even though David Robinson obviously was one of the best big men of all time, and he was the #1 pick coming out and all that stuff. Now, because we have social and you have ESPN or whatever the network, insert network here, tweeting out every single huge play that he does when he blocks a shot, runs down, dunks it on the other side, or blocks a shot, runs down, shoots a 3 on the other side. All these huge plays, like everyone's seeing them in instant time.
Yeah.
And so you're getting instant reaction from everybody when you don't have to wait for the News 4 broadcast tonight or the Fox broadcast tonight or whatever. Everyone's seeing exactly how good Wemby is in real time.
Yep. And remember, his game against Golden State the other night is against probably one of the top 4 smartest fan bases when it comes to basketball. Like, they know basketball. They've won 5 championships or whatever in the last 4 in the last 7 years. Boston fans, Spurs fans, Golden State fans, they're more sophisticated than a lot of other teams' fans.
I think you're giving Boston too much credit.
Well, I mean, they are. And the people in the stands in Oakland or San Francisco were they were cheering for him at some point. I mean, he was doing this to Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. And at some point they were just like, yes, well done, sir. Like, that is really awesome to watch.
What about you, Zach?
Yeah, he's exceeded, I think, the expectations, through. It's like, like Don said, after the summer league, everybody was kind of bagging on him that first debut. But where are those people now after 4 preseason games?
He needs to gain some weight.
Yeah, well,
he did.
On that note, though, I mean, just seeing the clips from when he was playing in France last night to seeing him now, it seems like he's already grown up so much already. It's crazy.
He's continue to.
And he's just 19. So it's just, man, it's like, how does this guy already look older and more, mature? And he is, in so many ways, both, on the court and off. The LeBron question came up today. Somebody at practice asked Chetty Osman, who played with the Cavaliers and played with LeBron, what's that like? Do you see any similarities? And Chetty, yeah, because he's here, he's in the morning, he's getting training, he's getting all this stuff taken care of, doing the stuff he does to, make sure he feels good and taking shots and getting the preparation and everything. So that, to it's like, yeah, he's already, just light years ahead of what a 19-year-old would be.
And that's the part of Wemby that probably is not talked about as much as it should be, is the thing that Sean and Dave and Tim and Manu noticed when they had dinner with him here. the decision not to play in the World Championships and come to San Antonio, find a place to live, and then start to hang out on a daily basis with Jeremy, Malachi, Keldon, and the guys. Like, he wanted to fit in. He could have been flying in Nike and doing all this other kind of stuff, playing in the World Championships. He really, at heart, is kind of a hermit who likes his routine. He goes home and takes a nap. His mom's living here. He's in the Spurs culture. He's first one in. He's the last one to leave. He's lifting weights. He said to the Spurs, and he brought his own trainer guy that they hired, what do you want? What do you think the best plan is to be ready for opening night? So for the last 3 months, he's been eating. He's been gaining weight, 15 pounds. He's been lifting. He's been stretching. We've seen the videos of his incredible flexibility. And he's been ingratiating himself to the community and to his teammates and to have some sort of chemistry. So the most encouraging thing to me is this isn't a guy whose head is out there in superstar world. ESPYs, he's more like Tim than people think. I mean, he's going to talk more than Tim did to the media, but he's more like Tim. This guy wants to win, and he's trusting the Spurs and Pop and their system to show him how.
Yeah. I think to that point, the most impressive things that I've seen are off of the basketball court.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what you look for when you take a number one pick, no matter who it is. If you're investing that much draft capital into one person and your whole franchise now is basically going to be revolving around one person, you want to see that they have max effort on the court, but you want to see that they have max effort off the court. And that's kind of what everyone has seen, whether it's a shoot around, whether that's in the media, whether that's whatever the case may be. It's just like he's in. He's bought
totally in. He wants to be the greatest player of all time, and he's asking people who have experience how to make that happen.
So when we go to expectations for this year, Zach, solely for Wemby, leaving the Spurs out of it, like leaving the whole roster out of it, what are your expectations for his stats, his development? What is expected from him on his first 82 game trek through the NBA?
Well, there's a lot of different avenues to go on there, and I'd be really interested to be a fly on the wall when Coach Pop and Brian Wright are talking about that this very question. I'm curious to see how many games he's going to play. To ballpark that, I would say somewhere maybe in the 55 to 65 range. As far like I'm curious to see like how much workload he's going to have and like how many games he's going to play, because he played the first two preseason, or he played the first two OKC and here, then rested and then played the last two. So I mean, I know he's going to go one out. He's going to want to go out and play almost all 82, I'm sure.
I think that's the main question as you come into the season for the entire team and for him is like how has it been lip service by Pop and the rest of them to say we're in it to win it this year and to win this year, or is it still mainly about development? And I think that's the main question when you look at this Spurs season and you look at the win total that Vegas has posted and you look at everything around it. It's like, are we in it to try and make the playoffs, or are we in it to develop these guys another season, see what the camaraderie is, see what the loose ends are, see who might not fit in this scheme, and then replace those guys with vets next year? I don't know.
I do. Make no mistake about it.
That's why you're here.
Make no mistake about it. They're going to try to win. They're going to try to win as many games as they can, and they're going to try to make the playoffs. And I think, I could be wrong, I think he plays 70 to 75 games. He's 19 years old. He's the rest in the preseason wasn't about rest. That's about preseason. Nobody plays in the preseason.
Right.
Guys try to make the roster play in the preseason. That's if he's healthy. If he's 100% healthy, he plays 70 games. If he's got nicks or whatever, then of course he's going to sit. He may sit on an occasional back-to-back. But look, my expectations, he's going to score 20 a game. He's going to average 6 rebounds, which is shocking to me because I thought he'd average 10. But now after watching him in the preseason, he's playing the 3 and he's leaking out, and that's fine with him. He's going to average 3.5 blocks. He's going to be an all-star based on the fan vote because he may or may not deserve to be an all-star, but his popularity is going to make him an all-star.
It's a narrative thing.
Yeah. And he's going to probably be in the top 2 of Rookie of the Year voting. And I think Vegas, and I told you guys this, I think Vegas was totally wrong. I think they win 40 games, and they're a borderline play-in team, 8, 9, 10.
For Wemby, I think that the development is going to be crucial for him, and I think that's going to happen if he with as many games as he plays. I think that if he barring health, I agree. I think he plays 70, 75. At least I really hope he does.
Yeah.
And the health is going to dictate that, and the connection between him and Pop, what he tells Pop and of how he's feeling, because I think Pop will listen to him. Like any coach, any good coach it does. You listen to your players' bodies, and the player listens to their own body. So I think that it's going to depend on how many games he plays, but either way, even if he plays 40 to 45, I still think this team surpasses their win total, because I think Vegas is, I don't know who's smoking what over there, but 29.5 games is
far too low.
It's so low. Like that's
ridiculous.
I think that's a bottom 3 like win total that they have over there. And tell me this, the Lakers win total is 47.5. You're telling me that they're expected to win 17 more games than the Spurs are this year?
I think it stems from this. They won 22. And for some reason, Vegas has forgotten that they were trying to lose games.
Right.
And that had they played Keldon and Devin together at all, they would have won 32. Right? There were 10 more winnable games last year.
If they were trying to win last year, they would have won 30 games at least.
They would have won 30, 32 games. Now add Wemby to that team. And Devin getting better. And Malachi getting better. And picking up Chetty Osman. This is a 40-win team.
At least, in my opinion. I think they're an average, or they're probably a middle-of-the-road team, 40, 41 wins, something like that.
That's what I think. I could be wrong. I mean, we could be homers here, like
we could
Zack wearing his Rangers shirt.
By the time this airs, Zach's either going to be really pissed or really happy. It's going to be one of the two.
He's on his way to a World Series game.
We'll be moving on. No, well, and Matt, you and I talked about it because, it was a couple weeks ago when ESPN had that, projected win total or something. And it's same kind of expectations. I think they're kind of somewhere in that neighborhood of being on the verge of a play-in team. Kind of, they're right there. Maybe it comes down to the last 2 or 3 ball games of the season where it's like, okay, you win these and you're in and you're playing, in the play-in tournament. So I think that expectation for the team, I don't really like focusing in on players just so much because it's like, yes, he showed a lot of great things in the preseason, but now the games start counting for real. Right. And what is Wemby going to do? I'm excited to see that, but I think for the team, yes, they're going to far exceed what they've done.
The problem is how good the West is and how deep the West is, right? I mean, you have Denver, Clippers, Lakers, Suns, Warriors, Kings, Mavericks, Pelicans. Really
how many games is Zion going to play?
Right. But if you start to consider that Kawhi and Paul George are going to quit. Anthony Davis is going to beg out of half the games.
Hey, the Clippers might have James Harden by then. You don't know. He can quit too. They can all quit together. Right.
But there's that 40 win total is like the West beating up on each other because the Kings are going to be good. The Pelicans should be pretty good.
Let me ask you this way. Would it surprise you more? I think we all think they're about a 40 win team. Would it surprise you more if they won 55 games or if they won 25 games? What would, if their ending total was 55 or 25, which one would surprise you more? Would it surprise you more?
25 would surprise me more.
Same, 25, because it's like, there's no way they end up around below 30.
Think about this. David Robinson's and Tim Duncan's rookie year. 21-60. 1 and 20-62. The following year, 60 wins. Now,
so you're saying they're going to have 21 wins this year.
When Tim came, that team was ready to win 60, right? So Dave didn't play that whole year. Avery, Sean, everybody was hurt. So they added Tim to a 45, 50 win team. When Dave came in, that was a 20 win team. That went 21-61 and then 61, just the opposite. So I'd be surprised if they won 55 games, but I'm telling you, we'll know more by January when we see what this kid is. I'm not going to be surprised if he's the greatest thing we've ever seen, because my jaw was dropped again against the Warriors the other night. I was just like, are you kidding me?
I mean, it's every play. It's like every time down the court. The game started at 9, and I went on at 9:45 on Fox. And I was like, okay, I can do first quarter highlights. So I was just looking through, and I almost had like a minute. I almost had a full minute of stuff that I could have aired. And I was just like, it only took me scrubbing through the game for like 3 minutes into the game to find like 4 plays I could use. I was like, what the hell is this?
There was a stretch in like the middle of that quarter where I think he scored something like 7 consecutive points or something like that. And he was making plays on the defensive end too. The Wiggins play, I was really impressed by that lateral agility that he showed.
Sure.
I mean, that's just... a guy that size shouldn't move like
and he works at it.
Well, I also love how when he does get those 3-point blocks, which are going to be plenty this year because he's going to be defending smaller people, he gets out and goes. Like he blocks it and runs, so they know like woo woo woo, like I'm open. Let's go.
his like you could tell when Wiggins got the ball on the wing, he's like, oh, I got this big guy on me. I'm going to work. He goes between his legs a couple of times, and he goes toward the middle like, I'm going to blow right by this guy. And have you guys seen his pregame routine where he's going through his lateral movements with his coach? He goes through this lateral up, back, side to side kind of thing, drills with his feet. He's working on this. And so when Wiggins does that, I mean, he's in that Bobby Knight defensive stance, slide my feet all over you. He pumps. He doesn't have to buy the pump fake because he's not leaving his feet. Mm-hmm. And then
Serge Rice figured that out in practice, apparently.
And then when Wiggins takes a shot, he just emphatically slaps it like Dwight Howard at a kid's camp in the summer with a 4-year-old. You know, just get it out of here.
I got to give a little props to Wiggins too. He defended Wemby down low in that first quarter and blocked one of his shots as well when Wemby was trying to back him down. Like Wiggins is no slouch on defense. Not
at all.
Yeah, no, people are going to learn how to defend him too. Like, because as much as he adjusts to the NBA game, they're going to have to adjust to him as well. And so when that comes to defense, when that comes to how you rotate on defense and all that stuff, Steve Kerr is going to be in his bag, I'm sure, when they play the Warriors for real.
But he's at his worst with his back-to-back to the basket when he catches the ball in the post and he tries to back people down. He's at his best when he catches on the wing and creates. And there's no stopping a guy who gets to his spot at 12, 14 feet, who's going to shoot right over the top of you. There's nothing you could do. I remember when Kobe was coming up, there was nothing you could do to guard Kobe, because when Kobe was young with his knees and he was healthy, he would just jump shoot over as high as you could jump. He would be higher and release it. And there's nobody that's going to be able to block Wemby's shot when he's just pulling up and shooting a jumper.
Mm-hmm. So his over-unders, I just looked it up at DraftKings. That was just the book that I went to. Over-under on points for the season is put at 17.5.
Take the over.
Over.
His over-under on rebounds is set at 8.4.
Take the under.
Yeah, I was just like you when I started looking at things before the season. I was just curious as to how he was going to play and all that stuff. He's not going to average double-double.
He's a 6 rebound guy.
He'll be closer to averaging 26 and 6 than he would be 20 and 10.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe in a couple of years, does he have the Tim Duncan game, the quiet, double-double,
He'll have games where he gets 10 rebounds, but he's not around the ball when it comes off the rim. He's gone.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess would in a couple of years, would you expect him to have that where it's like, yeah, he is pulling in 10, every night or something like that?
I don't know. It depends if they move him down into the post, but he's not, like I said, when the ball is shot, he's 10 feet from the basket, and when it hits the rim, he's 20 feet. He's going the other way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're going to need Zach Collins a lot in the rebounding aspect
Keldon
of it.
too.
Keldon as well, and even Jeremy as well. I mean, it's going to be a bunch of group rebounding, and whoever's around the ball is going to get it. It's not going to be I don't think it's going to be Wemby getting 10, 12, 14 boards a night.
I think there are situations where our team's trying to score on them in a last possession situation where it's like they have to have a defensive rebound where he doesn't leave and he's in the post.
I think that there's going to be multiple instances this year where he's on the verge of getting a triple-double, and one of those stats is not a rebound. It's going to be an assist and a block shot. Yeah. I think there's going to be multiple instances this year where he's got 26, 10 assists and like
10 blocks.
and 8 blocks,
Yeah,
10
for
blocks,
sure.
something like that. There's going to be a couple of those, and we're going to be like,
Yeah.
what just happened?
Yeah.
Rookie of the year odds. When we talked right when he got drafted, I think both of us were pretty sold that he was not going to win Rookie of the Year. He's still the odds-on favorite. He's minus 125. Scoot Henderson's next, then Chet, and then everyone else. I think Brandon Miller's next at like plus 1,600.
I think Chet's got a good chance. I think Wemby's got a good chance. We'll see.
I'm starting to come around to barring health. I'm starting to come around to Wemby winning Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Just because these things have become so much a narrative and a narrative award, just like the MVP is a lot of the times, because people who win it repeatedly
And who votes for it.
who votes for it is
And
journalists.
Wemby's likable.
Yeah.
The other two guys, not so much.
Zach, what do you think on the Rookie of the Year thing?
Yeah, 2-horse race, I think, to begin the year between Wemby and I would pick Chet, just from Oklahoma City. Yeah, he missed last season, but it's like, he gets that opportunity, and the battles, like we saw it in the first preseason game, those two going at it, it should be a lot of fun.
What about Scoot?
Bad team. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean, allegedly Wemby's on a 29-win team, so
True.
Yeah, if Scoot's having to do it like all by himself, that.
I mean, the Portland won 32 games last year, something like that, and they had Dame going off. I mean, someone has to score those points.
Who'd they get again for Dame? They got Ayton.
They got Ayton, which is okay. I have much disdain
Who's
for
the other
DeAndre
player?
Ayton. I forgot. Let me look.
They got picks.
Yeah,
But
got a
they
lot
got
of picks.
Ayton and they got Drew.
Yeah,
No,
but didn't Drew move?
Drew's on the Celtics.
Oh, Drew went to the Celtics. That's right. Yeah.
Let me look real quick.
Good for Drew.
What about do they win on Wednesday?
Oh, who cares?
I care. A lot of people care. We're talking
Maverick-
about their win total right
The Mavericks are pretty good. They're a young team that's going to may or may not come together for the first 3 weeks of the season. I would say no. I would say the Mavericks win. But there's going to be juice in the building. So because there's going to be so much juice in the building, yeah, the Spurs win.
Yeah.
The Blazers got Ayton, Tumani Kamara, Drew Holiday, a first-round pick from the Bucks, 2 pick swaps from the Bucks, and then whatever they got for Drew Holiday, which I can't see on here because they traded Drew Holiday then to the Celtics. I'm just saying that
Did Grayson Allen go somewhere?
Yeah, he's on the Suns.
Did Boston give up to anybody? They gave up.
I can look up that trade next.
Boston gave up. Did they give up the dude from Tennessee, the kind of heavyset kid? Number 12. What's his name? 6'7" rebounder.
The Blazers also got Malcolm Brogdon,
Oh, Brogdon.
Robert Williams,
Williams. Wow.
first-round pick, the Warriors' first-round pick next year, and an unprotected first-round pick from the Celtics.
Matt, who's the guy I'm
2019.
thinking about that played for the Celtics? Kind of their enforcer guy.
Oh, Robert Williams.
No, he's like shorter, thicker.
Oh.
Played at Tennessee. Tough. Could 6'8". Kind of would get in fights.
Was there last year?
Yeah, he'd been a part of their playoff teams. Come on.
Not Marcus Smart.
No, that's
No.
that's Oklahoma State. I'm just trying through their team in my head. Derek White, Robert Williams,
No.
Grant Williams.
Yeah, Grant. Was it Williams?
It's Grant Williams.
Grant Williams.
Yeah, yeah.
Is he still in Boston?
Yeah,
Okay.
at least I think so. Pretty sure. They got Porzingis now too, so the Celtics are going to be a wagon over there.
Well, I tell you what, Robert Williams from A&M and Brogdon are good players to go with Scoot Henderson. They may not be that bad.
They're going to be a decent team. Scoot, I think Scoot has the best odds to beat Wemby in the Rookie of the Year race, just because it's such a guard-centric league now.
Yeah.
That he could go for, I don't know, let's just call it 23 points this year average.
He's explosive as heck, man. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, I really wanted
Reminds
the
me of a
Spurs to
young
trade
Derrick
up.
Rose.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he just doesn't go off the rails like Derek did.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get to last topic before we get out of here. Obviously, I think we Personally, I think the Spurs win on Wednesday because of the hype in the building.
Yeah.
However, I could see Wemby coming out cold and not having a great game just because, like, we saw that in the summer league, all the hype, the hoopla. ESPN's going to be there. Stephen A. Smith, I'm sure, is going to be there. Like, everybody and their mother are going to be in that building. All eyes are going to be on that game. So I could see him coming out cold and them losing. However, I think they'll rebound after that. But
I love how much credit you give to Stephen A. Smith.
well, I mean, he's just part of the NBA coverage on that. So I hate Stephen A. I haven't watched a full episode. I think it's been probably since it was Cold Pizza that I have not watched a full episode of First Take or Cold Pizza.
My eyeballs bleed. Like if I turn on the television and I see him screaming at somebody, immediately change the channel.
I don't understand why their ratings are so good. I really don't. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's a different generation,
I guess. NBA as a whole, prediction for the finals.
I haven't even thought about it. Let's see.
Well,
I think Milwaukee's going to be really good. I think Boston's going to be really good. So I'll take one of those two in the East. In the West, I think Denver's going to be good again. I think Phoenix is going to be good again. I think the Warriors are going to be good again. One of those three.
so we've got a round robin finals over here.
I'm going to say Milwaukee, and Phoenix.
Milwaukee? Damn. Okay.
I'll go Milwaukee, Denver.
Milwaukee, Denver. So 2 Milwaukees. I am going to go Celtics. And I'm between Denver and the Suns, as I think that
Those are good picks.
I'm intimately familiar with the Suns more just because I went to school at ASU and stuff. So, and I know the people covering that team. So I hear some of the stuff that they say, and it's just a different vibe around that team this year because Chris Paul's gone. And I think in the playoffs in the last 2-3 years, he's kind of been like that leech, not so much because of just because he's old and just because he's kind of slow and he doesn't show up in the playoffs. I'm going to go Suns, Celtics, and I'm going to say that the Suns win.
Devin Booker's my favorite player in the NBA.
He is so damn good.
I love him.
He's so good and he's so underrated. And
so underrated. He and Drew Holiday. He and Drew Holiday are the two most underrated players in the NBA.
Devin Booker is the Kobe of our generation.
He's so good. He's so good.
He's so good.
And Durant's so good.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how Durant plays this season, a full season in Phoenix.
Yeah,
how if he can stay healthy, like if he doesn't turn an ankle.
They got Bradley Beal, right?
Yeah,
they're going to be
and they ravaged the waiver wire. Like they have a deep team now. Like I think they're the best team in the NBA.
They got my man Ish Wainwright.
No, I think he's gone actually.
Is he gone?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just saw that.
He was my kid's roommate.
Wait, really?
Yeah, in college.
Give me 2 seconds. I can look that up right now.
Ish a good dude. Good people, that Ish Wainwright.
Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway. All right. It's going to be a fun season, fellas.
Should be
a fun one.
Let's do it.
You're going to be on the floor Wednesday?
I'll be there. Nobody will be there. It's an 8:30 tip.
Yeah, you'll be in an empty stadium.
I'll be there at 5 o'clock.
See if you can do what that Denver announcer did once and be like, "Hey, Wemby, how's it going?" See if you can get him over while he's doing his warm ups.
I did it every game with Tim Duncan.
We'll see if you can do it again.
I would always go. Tim would. It just seemed to work out this way, right? It's like right as I was doing my sportscast at 6 o'clock, Tim's workout routine started on the other side, and he would shoot from different spots on the court. Invariably, right when I was getting ready to toss back, he was from me to you. He was shooting his corners, and I was right there in the corner on the side. And so he'd be in stuff. I try not to bug him, right? He's being his routine. But then when it was live, I go, "Tim, Randy Beamer says hi." And he would look and he'd go, "Hi, Beamer." Beamer always loved it. Always loved it.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we got for you today on this Wednesday episode of the Sneakers Cleats podcast. We will be back on Friday, have a full Cowboys preview as they hopefully win against the Rams on Sunday. UTSA playing East Carolina. We'll talk about them a little bit. We will have a World Series to preview as of this recording on Monday. We don't know who that's going to be, but it's going to be somebody against somebody. So we'll talk about them, I'm sure.
And we'll recap the weekend that was at the North Texas homecoming reunion. 40, you ready for this? 40 years since my freshman year of college.
I don't know if you've experienced this yesterday as well. I've never felt older than I did yesterday. We were doing the San Antonio Spurs All-Star Game media day and stuff like that. And every single time we had everyone sitting there and there's like smile and nod for the camera. So we get B-roll shots and ISOs and all that stuff. And so I kept saying, smile and wave, boys, smile and wave from Madagascar in 05. And then
There's no way
I quickly realized, I was like, is this a dated reference? A 2005 movie. These kids are graduating in 24. I'm like, oh my God,
they weren't
even alive.
Yeah,
they weren't even alive for this movie,
man.
I was like, thank you so much, everybody here, for making me feel like an old man. I turned 28.
It happens quick.
I turn 28 tomorrow, and I feel like an old man. Like, this is insane. But anyway,
just wait, boy. You got a lot coming.
God, it's so annoying. Anyway, so
you weren't born when I started working here.
Yeah.
The tables have turned.
It's ridiculous.
All right. Well, that's all we got for today. Remember,
I used to have reporters show up for work and say, "I've watched you my whole life." Now they're too young for that.
Remember to get this podcast wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Please download, subscribe, rate, review, give us some feedback, tell a friend, tell an enemy. We'll see you on Friday right here, Sneakers Cleats Podcast.